Good morning. Well, here we are. It's been a few days since I did a video because I was out of the country. I was in England, and in my last video I talked about how I was going to plan for my makeup for England. And boy, was it a good thing I did, because it worked out exactly the way I had expected. It was going to be drier and much less humid there. Nope, that didn't do any better. I was just fiddling with the light a little bit. Maybe I'll fiddle with it again. There we go. Oh, maybe that's a little better. Anyway, it was significantly drier there. But the funny thing was, or interesting thing was, that it was sunny and bright the whole time, which is unusual for this time of year in England. It's typically by October quite cloudy and rainy. And everyone, all the locals that we talked to, were very happy that it was still sunny and bright and that it wasn't so dreary yet, although they were ready to start looking for their leaves changing and that sort of thing. So it was sunny and bright, so I took my sunscreen, and I was very glad I did. And moisturizer was important because the humidity was right around, I would say, probably 40-50%, which for my Florida skin is significantly low, which is used to like 90 or above 80-90% humidity. And so my skin did really well. However, my hair did not do well. As much planning as I put into what I was going to put on my face, I did not do well as far as putting my hair together. And typically I use When by Chaz Dean. It's a nice product. I'll show it to you at some point. And I didn't take it, so I was using Hotel shampoo, and I didn't take my hair dryer because the plugs are different there, and although I had an adapter, it was just kind of another big thing to put in my suitcase that I didn't want to do. And so I had to use the Hotel hair dryer, which was very annoying because you had to hold the button down the whole time you were hair drying, so it was just annoying. And it fried my hair. My hair was completely, the Hotel shampoo dried it out terribly, and so it was frizzy, and it looked a hot mess the entire time I was there, except for when I had it in a ponytail and under a hat because I just couldn't deal with it. And it was not great. However, on the last day, I had like a minor epiphany, a forced epiphany actually, because my husband had used all the Hotel shampoo to wash out his running gear from his obstacle course race. And since he had used all of it, I had nothing to use on my hair. So I was in the shower and I was like, well, shoot, what am I going to do? So I looked down, and there was my bar of Dove soap, which I had brought with me because I'm a weirdo and I bring my own soap to hotels. I'm a weirdo. I don't like hotel soap anyway. It's too drying, and I don't know. I'm just weird. So I thought, well, I'll put that on my hair and see how it does. Now, what does Dove say it is? 1/4 moisturizing cream, right? So on the very last day, I rubbed my head down with Dove soap, lathered it up really good. I had conditioner, which I was happy about. And voila, the frizz was gone, the moisture was back in. I was like, you are such a dummy. You should have been doing this the whole time instead of using that drying out shampoo. So lesson learned. Sometimes you have a forced epiphany like I did. And, it worked. So if you're ever in a pinch and you have Dove soap, you can use Dove soap on your hair. I wouldn't recommend using it all the time, but use Dove soap on your hair to clean your hair, and it will moisturize it a little bit. Enough for the day, right? Enough to be a tourist. You don't have to look great when you're a tourist. So that's the whole hair and skin spiel about England, which was a beautiful trip. It was wonderful. I loved it. We had a wonderful time. And I remember telling you in the last video that my skin is reactive. Well, of course, it reacted to all the dryness and the lack of humidity that was in England. So my skin was very, very dry. I have terrible dry patches right here on that cyst thing that I need to have taken care of. And my skin on my nose was significantly drier. My cheeks were just dry. They still are. They're still not, we just got back yesterday, so it's still in transition. But this morning, I did my normal routine. I ran, which was fabulous. I really needed to run. And then I came home and washed and conditioned my hair, and I blew dry. I'm probably not going to do anything else with it today just because my hair was so fried by that other stuff that I don't want to heat style it any more than I have to. But I did blow it dry. And then I put on my Depuff, which is the, my favorite thing in the world, the Garnier, Skin Active Clearer, Brighter Depuff. And that goes underneath your eyes to take the bagginess out. And I put it up here too just because I have a little bit of saggy baggy there. So I did that, and I did my regular moisturizer. Today's focus is going to be on moisturizing my skin, and as you can see down there, it has SPF 15. We all know by now, if you've watched any of my other videos about how I feel about sun protection, it's essential. If you live in Florida, it's essential. If you are in any kind of sun whatsoever, it's essential. If you go outside, it's essential. If you live in a snowy climate, it's essential. You just have to have the SPF. You just have to. So please, I'm kind of a weirdo about it, but please do that. And because we'd gotten back in the afternoon and we were jet lagged and whatever, I took my makeup off, but I didn't do a great job. So this morning I had to use a little bit of my micellar water, my Garnier micellar water, to take off some of the leftover mascara that I had on. I'd done a good job on my face part. I'd used the skin wipes, but I just couldn't get as much of the mascara off as I wanted, so I had to use my micellar water and a cotton swab this morning. It was fine. So today's focus, as I said before, it's going to be on moisturizing because my skin is very dry because I was in a dry climate, or drier than my skin is used to. So today, but I have some new things to show you, which is always kind of fun. The first thing I want to do, though, is to do my concealer. And this is the True Match Fair Light. That's the one that I use. Okay, focused in there. Under my eyes here, down my nose. No, excuse me. On the bridge of my nose, right there. And across the top of my lip. And then the darker one is called Fair Medium, Fair Medium, and that's the one I use on my blemishes. So I'm going to put that on just like I would normally do, so it goes on that big blemish there. The nice thing about these is these have moisturizer too, on my little scar that I have, which I have to say is getting better. So I'm happy about that. This one goes down the side of my nose like this. And it says on the package that it's super blendable, which I have to agree with. It's quite easy to blend in. And of course your skin warms it up, so it's a lot easier to blend. Now this one goes down the bridge of my nose. This is the lighter color. And under my eyes, and I'm just going a little bit today. I'm trying to take it easy on my skin. Across this top lip, that's just for those lines. I'm actually going to do a little bit right here today too, just to give me a little bit more coverage. So those are the places that I put my concealer. And now I'm just dabbing on my eyes because you don't want to rub because that skin is so delicate. I've talked about that before. And I use my fingers because they're clean, number one. And number two, I'm 53 years old. I've been touching my face my whole life. And I've done pretty well, so I think we're all right. I'm going to blend it down my nose. Again, I have that wide bridge nose, so I try to minimalize it as much as I possibly can. And, it is what it is. I like my nose. I used to really, really hate my nose, mostly because of a nickname I had when I was a child. They weren't very nice to me. But now I've kind of, as I've gotten older and gotten more comfortable in my own skin, I don't mind my nose so much. There's other things to worry about, right? So I'm just blending this in. I don't know if you can hear, but my little puggy is down here sleeping. He's snoring quite loudly today. So I'm just going to get that nice and blended in. And that dry patch, what I should do on that dry patch, which I will probably do tonight, is put some of that lovely aloe vera on it just to help it out, to help it heal, and to help it, because it got kind of like super dry and super scaly, I suppose. And so it's really not looking so great right now, although I can cover it and it looks okay. But I probably will put some aloe vera on it just to help the healing process. And so now I've just kind of blended that in a little bit. And today we're doing a lot more moisturizing things today than I would typically do in Florida, because as I said before, my skin is dry. And so what I want to show you today are these boomsticks. Now my label has rubbed off because I've had these a while. These are called Boom by Cindy Joseph, and she is an older lady who was a model. She had beautiful gray hair, and she's kind of, if you go on her website, she's very California, let's put it that way, and she's very sweet, and I like her products because they have SPF in them, which I'm a big fan of, and they're designed to be a little bit more natural, which I like. And she just has a philosophy of less is more, which I also like. So this is one that she calls, I think it's called Color, and this is what it looks like. It's kind of a shimmery brownish tan color, I suppose. And if you watch her videos, she puts it on her eyes here, and then she puts it like on her collarbones. Well, I'm wearing a t-shirt today, so that won't be necessary. But it's just some way to get a little bit of shimmer. So I'm going to put that on my eyes right here, just like she does. And you can see it's very subtle. See, it's kind of shimmery there. It's kind of nice. And it goes on a lot like chapstick. So it is a stick color. I'm going to come in real close. And so in one sense, I really like it because it's moisturizing. In another sense, I'm kind of meh on it because obviously I haven't blended in. And typically I use my blending brush, but this is a cream, so you can't really do that. So I'm going to have to use my finger, and I have to use a little bit more pressure than what I would like to use on my poor little wrinkly eyebrows or eyelids that are in kind of sad shape, you know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my finger actually like this. I know some of you are horrified by that, but it'll be all right. And I'm going to put some on my lid. And again, I'm having to rub just a little bit more than I want to typically, but I figure one day out of 100 will be all right. So there's that side, and now I'm going to do this other side too. And I will say, by using my finger, it tends to help it a little bit. I guess that's because the warmth of my hand kind of causes it to glide a little bit better. We're just going to go like this, and so that gives you just a little bit more polished, shimmery look to it. It's kind of nice, and this is for like every day anyway. I'm just going to the grocery store and doing laundry today, so it's all good. And then she has this. Now, don't be afraid, because when this goes on at first, it's a little bit surprising. It'll be all right. It's this color, and this is for your cheeks, for like what they used to call it. They used to call it rouge. That's what my grandmother called it, and now we call it blush because we want to sound blushy as opposed to rougey. I don't know. So to me, this is still rouge. It's just a stick, cream stick blush, I suppose. And so I'm going to put it on, and you'll see. You're like, oh, Jesus. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Oh, my goodness. That is really bright. I look like an Indian going out for a war party dance, I suppose. I probably shouldn't say that either, but I look painted. So this is not good. So again, we're going to use our fingers, and we're just going to blend it in. And according to her website, and I tend to believe this is true, this is good for all skin types. Now, my skin is what I would call fair to medium. I used to be a medium dark because I used to sunbathe, and tan my face, but I don't do that anymore. And so now my skin, of course, is fairer. And you can see, remember how I told you anytime I touch my face, it's going to be reactive, so it's going to be a lot brighter. So there, I've just kind of blended it in a little bit, like this. And this is just going to give me a little bit of color on my cheeks so I don't look so washed out, I suppose. And then I'm going to do something that they tell you not to do on the video. Now, on her videos, she puts it on bare face just like I do. You can use your liquid foundation underneath this if you want. Some people want to do that because they feel like they need a little more coverage on their freckles or whatever it is they're trying to cover up under there, or even out, I should say. And so some people want to do that. I tend not to because, as I said before, I don't typically use a lot of foundation, cream foundation on my face. It melts off in Florida. Today it's supposed to be 85 today, so this is going to melt off too, but it's going to do so a little less, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So you can see on this side where it was very bright and where I rubbed it in and I was touching my face. Now the blood has kind of gone back down, so it looks a little more normal. This one is, I still have a little over here. I don't like that so much, so I'm just going to blend it out a little bit more with just my finger. And you can see on my finger, I've got some stuff on there. But that is pretty much it. I mean, as far as our color on our face. You know, typically I use powder on my eyeshadow, and I use powders much more because of where I live. But because today I'm focusing on moisture, I'm using a little bit more creamy things. Now, if you look at Cindy Joseph's website, you will see her say, don't use powder over cream. And to some extent, I agree with that. If you live in a place that is not humid. But I live in a very humid place, so I'm going to go ahead and put my True Match powder on top of this. But I'm using my kabuki brush like I've used before. And the reason being is I'm going to make it less shiny, and I know that it's going to set a little bit better, and so it will be a little bit more permanent or more likely to stay on than if I didn't use this. So I'm going to go on the eyes too, just like I do with everything. I'm putting my powder on. And this routine is pretty short because there's not a lot of steps to it, which is kind of nice. And like I said, I'm doing laundry and going to the grocery store today. So what's the goal when we go to the grocery store? Don't scare small children. And I'm not going to do my hair today as far as heat styling. Tomorrow when I do the video, I'm planning to do my hair. And I'm going to do the hair on video so you can see exactly what I do when I'm trying to look fancier than the grocery store. So there's my powders on. Not so bad. Next, I'm going to do my eyebrows because I do my eyebrows every single day. I don't have very good eyebrows as far as natural coloring because of my grayness. So I like to fix them. So I'm going to fix my eyebrows. And again, I have a wide bridge nose, so I start where it starts, and that's where the hair of my eyebrow starts. And I'm just going to go put some powder right on there. Eyebrow powder. Not so bad. So I'll tell you, in England, we had a wonderful time. We had some really good Italian food there. They tend to eat more Italian food than their own pub food. Although I did have a really delicious pub burger, which was really bad for me. But I was on vacation, and now I'm back off. And I ran this morning, so I feel good about that. And my diet is going to be changing because I'm trying to lose a little bit of weight. Just, not so much. Just so much. It's essentially so I can run a little bit better because right now I'm hauling around a whole bunch of weight. And so it's harder than it should be. But eventually I'll get that off and it'll be easier for me to run. So I'm only doing it because I want to have an easier run. So there's my brows for today. And now my waterproof mascara, just like I wear every single day, my Maybelline Colossal Volume 7 times or 10 times. And look, I bought this new not too long ago, and I've already rubbed the label off some because I use it every day. So while we were in England, of course, I try to have like an English breakfast, which consists of, for them, it consists of eggs, sausage. They have these things called potato, I can't remember what they're called, but they're essentially hash browns. And they usually have baked beans with their breakfast, which I find unusual for me, but not for them. So, hey, it is what it is. And I don't mind them so much, but it's not something I would choose to fix here for breakfast for anyone. You know, it's like, oh, here, have some baked beans. If they were English, they would be like so grateful for it, but that's the way that is. And the sausages there are different because the pigs are different. So everything you have there is just a little bit different because even their eggs, the yolk of the eggs is much more bright orange because their chickens are not the same type of chickens that we have here. It's all good. It's all the same stuff. So I didn't eat as healthfully as I typically would. But again, I was on a trip. The days that Roger ran his races, I walked the course. And so on Saturday and Sunday, I walked about 7 miles both those days. And I did a 5K run on one of those days as well. I went down to the gym and did a 5K. It was horrible. I didn't like running on the treadmill because it was super boring. Even if you have a TV and music and stuff, you're literally just standing there running, and it just seems, I don't know, it wasn't for me. I like to run outside because I can see more things, and I don't know, I just like fresher air, definitely fresher air. And so I didn't appreciate that. But I did a 5K that day, and then I walked the 6 miles, and then the next day I walked 7 miles, and then we took a tour and saw Leeds Castle, which was beautiful, the cathedral at Canterbury, which was amazing and had beautiful windows, beautiful stained glass windows. And then we drove down and saw the White Cliffs of Dover, which was very cool to see because I'd always wanted to see it. But I have to say it was a little disappointing because it was basically, we drove there on the bus, we got out for 20 minutes, saw the cliffs, and drove back, and that was it. And there just wasn't anything there that was, there was a couple of monuments to some of the World War II soldiers, which I liked, but it just was not quite as awe-inspiring as I had hoped. Such is life. You live and learn. And then we took the bus back into town, and we had a wonderful dinner at a pub. Oh, I had a wonderful burger. I'm telling you, it was a good burger. And then we went back to our hotel and slept. And the next day, we went to a beautiful thing called Weald Country Park. And essentially, it's a giant park. It's 500 acres. They have European deer kind of pinned at the front that you can feed, and they're really pretty. They have spots and all that. And so we literally walked the countryside, and that day I put in 9 miles. So I got a lot of exercise, but again, a lot of people think that exercise is the way to lose weight, and it's just not. You have to change the diet. You can't eat, if you want to maintain what you're having, then continue to eat like you always have and exercise for 1 hour a day. And that's how you will maintain your weight. If you want to lose weight, you have to change your diet. Exercise alone will do nothing. Nothing. Since I started the 5K program on my phone 9 weeks ago, 9 weeks, I lost about 5.5 pounds. That's not a lot for 9 weeks. However, I didn't change anything in my diet. Nothing. I just kept eating whatever. So I still lost 5 pounds, but still, if I had changed my diet as well, I'm sure I would have lost significantly more weight. So you have to change your diet. Sorry, kids, there's no magic pill. You can't take a supplement and go, oh, that's going to make me lose weight. NO spells no. You have to read the label. It says this will work with a X amount of calorie diet. So you have to change your diet. You have to eat more vegetables. You have to eat more fruits than you do anything else. If you do those things, then you will lose weight. If you don't, you won't. If you eat fried chicken and mashed potatoes and run 7 miles, you're going to maintain that weight. You're not going to lose any. Sorry. If you eat ice cream and you exercise for 30 minutes, you will maintain. You will not lose anything. Even if you're working out super duper hard. You have to eat correctly. So my goal is I have until November 16th, which is when I run my official foam 5K. And so my goal is to lose 5 pounds between now and then, because that'll make it easier for me to run. And I could really lose a lot more to be a good healthy weight. But that's the goal. I set short-term goals because I feel like I can reach those better. So when I did the 5K, Couch to 5K program, that was 9 weeks. And I was like, I can do anything for 9 weeks. Well, I have a month to do the 5 pounds. Well, I can change my diet for 30 days and lose 5 pounds. I know I can, because that's a very short-term goal. So I would suggest setting short-term goals and see how you do. And then push yourself to actually meet that goal. Well, how am I going to lose those 5 pounds? First of all, I'm going to eat more vegetables. I like vegetables. I like mushrooms. I like broccoli. I like cauliflower. I like pretty much any vegetable you put in front of me. So that is not except for kale. I can't do kale. I can't do it. I've tried it. I just can't. I hate it. I don't want to eat it. So guess what? I'm not going to eat it. I'll eat salad all day long. And I'm a person that doesn't really like salad dressing. So when I go to a salad bar, I load up on vegetables, and I might just put maybe a teaspoon of salad dressing on there. Maybe. I mean, it is I go, oh, salad dressing. There's a lot of people that like to put on a lot of salad dressing. That is not me. I don't like it. So I'm good with that. So I can eat vegetables all day long and be perfectly happy. Fruit is a different issue. I have acid reflux, so I can't eat oranges or anything like that. Even apples sometimes bother me, so I have to be careful. Grapes are good for me, so I know that about myself. Fruits and vegetables will be a big part of my diet for the next 30 days. And protein will be, it will be there because I'll be running and I need to replenish that protein, but it'll be significantly less than the fruits and vegetables. Let's put it that way. And it'll probably be chicken, nuts, and stuff like that. And that's that. So my goal is 5 pounds. And if I meet that, great. If I exceed it, I'll be even happier, won't I? So that's a good thing. All right, so I just put the mascara on the top lashes. I am going to do the bottom lashes because I've been watching myself in the video, and I'm like, you could use a little more oomph down there. So let's just do that. And I'm getting better at this. I'm not even using my mirror over there. One thing I did learn when we were in England is the light in the hotel is terrible, and they don't have close-up mirrors. They don't have shaving mirrors. So it was harder for me to put my makeup on there because I couldn't see very well. So I think in some of my pictures I didn't look as good as I had hoped, but oh well. Big deal. Put a little bit more over here. Why have one coat when you can have two? Anyhow. And that's the makeup for today, except for my Burt's Bees. Forgot my lips. And I'm using a colored one today because I want to. And that looks nice. Yeah. So that's a nice color. And you can see that red, how bright that red was. It's still a little brighter than what I kind of would typically wear, but it's okay. And there's my eye makeup, and that's it for today. All the hair and makeup is done for the day. I can go to the grocery store, not frighten small children, buy my groceries, which will include lots of vegetables because I just said I have a goal. And I want you to have a wonderful day. And remember, you really are much prettier than you think you are. And the flaws that you see, other people do not see as much. So love yourself, give yourself a break, do something good for yourself. Like instead of having a cup of coffee today, have a glass of water instead. Or if you have, like, I'm typically a 1 cup a day person, so that's pretty easy for me to say. But if you have 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day, just switch one out for a bottle of water. And there, you've done your good thing for yourself today. Just do one good thing for yourself today. One thing. And be proud that you did that one thing. It's all about small steps. And just calm down. Calm down, people, about your diet and how you look. Just calm down. Do something good for yourself. Do something good for somebody else. And there, you've been a good person for the day. Have a wonderful day.